Allbrand, and I am Marketing Bax. Today is episode number 5. What is it, Ruth?
565.
565.
And we're going live.
We're live. We had a little bit of technical difficulty this morning, but what's new, right? So, but before
go ahead.
Well, before we dive into our topic today here, Ruth, what's happening in the Las Vegas real estate market and real estate in general?
Well, the big news is that the median price has gone up to $385, which means that people are building more equity in their homes, and therefore we have more listings. So we listed yesterday 151 homes, which is incredible, which gives us a little bit over 19, almost 20 days of inventory, which is fantastic. So more and more people are listing their homes because they're getting more money for their homes. And this is the time of the year, right?
Right.
So that's what they're doing. And we've got 2,432 single family homes on the market, which is really good. And also, one of the things that I've been telling my viewers during the week is that we are churning. In other words, we just listed yesterday 100 homes that are under $400,000, which is in the median price range. And so, we're selling, we're listing, we're selling. So the inventory that's coming online is fresh, is the point. So that's really good news. And it seems to me, and my viewers, of course, will let me know, but it seems to me that the multiple offer situation is getting more under control, because I think agents are writing their offers perhaps better, or, convincing their buyers that maybe they have to come with more to the terms that the seller wants. So anyway, I think that I don't feel the tension like I felt, over the first part of the year. So I think that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
Yes. And right now, low interest rates mean more buyers. The buyers keep coming. People keep moving here. And that's all good. That's all good news. We are, 50% ahead of last year, obviously, because of COVID,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I see when I'm talking to top producers, what I'm hearing is that they're getting so many listings that it's hard to keep up. The people that are out there getting listings are getting the listings because people want to get that equity out of their home.
Well, yeah, there's when your neighbor sells for $100,000 what you expected your neighborhood to be, and sells,
yes,
people are going to start to realize that they want to try to capitalize on that as well.
Yeah, and I put this ranking chart up here this morning because if you can see this, Ivan Shear, who is one of the high-end luxury top producing agents, you usually don't see him in the top 10 of the number of transactions.
Right.
But he is up there, and kudos to him. He sold 126 homes this year with an average price of $2.2 million.
Wow.
I know, for $258 million worth of real estate that he has sold. And you can look at these figures. Nobody is even close. Nobody is even close to that.
Right.
So kudos out to Ivan Shear and his team.
Yes. Congratulations to Ivan Shear. I mean, he's been in this game, not only the real estate game, but actually the online content building, the marketing, the Facebook posts. He's actually been on Twitter. I mean, way before anybody even started to even think about this stuff here, and especially the local market. I mean, I remember when I started researching real estate agents back in 2016. I mean, he had already built some amazing content. And when Facebook Live first came out, him and his team were one of the ones that really spearheaded that right away and started doing walkthroughs of their listings right on Facebook Live, right when Facebook Live came out. And so, I mean, this is no accident why he's up here right now.
Absolutely not. No, he has strategies and tactics, and he works the all aspects of real estate marketing. Yeah. Yes. And so I just wanted just congratulations, Ivan, and your team. And he has a fantastic team. He really does.
Yeah. Really good energy all the way around.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to bring that to everybody's attention because we have sold so many luxury homes this year. Overall, we're like 10-15% ahead of last year. Let's look back here again. Yeah, we're way ahead of last year, year to date.
Mm-hmm.
Year to date. So it's not that we're keeping up with the month to date. We have sold more in the first 6 months and 12 days, or 5 months and 12 days of 2021 than we sold in all of 2020. So that's just a remarkable number as well. And we attribute that, of course, to people moving here from other parts of the country. A lot of people from Illinois moving here, and their price point there is higher, so they're bringing more cash to the game. They can afford, our homes. So same with California. We talked about that last week. Californians are just
they're used to paying $500,000, $600,000 as an average home, and their mortgage around $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. That's not something that's too difficult or even new to them. So yeah, I mean, and this is the reason why Ruth and I reminded everybody, like during a contraction period. I mean, if last year was a reminder for everybody, is that one, you got to prepare. In good times you got to save, right, and put some money aside. But in bad times and in times of disruption, that's the time you like go all in on your marketing. You double, if not triple fold your marketing and your effort, because coming out of something like that, like this year, I mean, we're going to set record breaking probably numbers across the country, not just here in Vegas, but across the country in real estate. There's going to be more transactions probably this year than the last decade. I'm willing to bet here.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
So with higher price points, right? That means higher commissions, and so I mean that's why you want to make sure you get educated, up your marketing game, and then enjoy this ride. And then during this time, the next 2 years here, start putting money aside again, because the cycle, something will happen, whatever it is. I don't know. It's not going to be the coronavirus. It could be something else, but there'll be a slowdown of some sort that you'll need to utilize some of the savings.
And Max, there's 150 million homeowners in the United States, and 50 to 60 million of them are not owner occupied. So the investor market is really strong. And we are seeing more and more investors coming into our market as well, because the rents are rising
Rapidly right now. We actually shout out to the Boakley brothers here, Landon and I forgot. It's an early morning today, but they had a flip that they ended up wanting to do Airbnb, and they, on their YouTube channel, they told the story about how it just didn't work out. It was right prior to COVID. They tried to do Airbnb, and then literally when they got their Airbnb ready, like March 2020, right? And then they ended up doing a fully furnished rental property, and it ended up working out well. I mean, they were able to rent a single story, like 2,500 square foot home in I think Las Vegas by the airport. And they do some really good renovations with the pool and everything. So they got it ready like for Airbnb. So they had all the amenities in there, and they were able to rent it for like $4,000 a month. So, I mean, 2,500 square feet, single family, or, single story home, $4,000 a month. That's crazy. I've never, I mean, that's like, that's like crazy money in rentals.
It's funny that you say that, because I did some stats this morning a little bit, since we didn't have a guest, on what might be interesting to people. Let's see, we've got like 407 homes on the market with virtual tours, and which are beautiful. People love the 3D virtual tours. But it was amazing to me how many rentals are doing virtual tours. And as I'm looking at it, there's a rental, I think it's in Dragon Ridge, 10,000 square feet, renting for $22,000 a month.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think the lowest rental on the virtual tours right now is $21.95, and those are just properties, the rentals that have virtual tours. There's a lot of rentals on the market, but there's a handful of that do virtual tours, and virtual tours really, really work in our market. I mean, it's just incredible. We'll show some later in the show, because like we're saying though, the rental market is we manage over 300 properties, And within a month, they're gone.
Right.
You know, they're gone. And they're good tenants. You know, they're coming from other parts of the country, a lot of them. You know, they have great history. They have, they're solid financially. So yeah, the renters that are coming in are really good, and the investors are buying. So I think John got 2 or 3 investor leads, qualified opportunities this week. Yeah. You know, speaking of luxury, Howard Hughes, let me just see here if I have this at hand here. Howard Hughes is building a luxury apartments. Now, in this photo here, Max, is the Tanager behind there, and that's luxury apartments on Sahara. And so now they're building more, as they said they would. They said they were going to take that acreage east of downtown Summerlin, and they were going to build office, multi-living, multifamily, and I don't know if they're going to do any. I don't think they're going to do any single family there. I don't think it's zoned for that right now.
Probably not, and it wouldn't really fit in the layout of what they're trying to do there. I mean, it's going to probably be a lot of mixed use. I mean,
yes,
it's going to be a nice area here.
Yeah, and you can see, I mean, they're working. I'm just showing you the picture of how the construction has started, and this is what they are building for the apartments. And I understand that the Tanager had about 297 luxury apartments, and they're almost leased up. And so now they're starting on the next one. And the other thing that they're doing is they're building a luxury high-rise office building, which was really
10 stories, right?
Yeah, the upscale, and it's next to the ballpark. But look at the view. Look at that. Look on that west side of that building.
Right.
There's a lot of glass, and they're going to take advantage of the views, and that's what it's going to look like when it's finished.
Right.
Yeah,
it's interesting cool. That for them to start building office building, because office space right now. I'm curious to see what their metrics and analytics are telling them right now, because I mean, with the whole COVID thing, the office space right now is not very popular.
Well, this is a Texas-based company that had announced these plans, and they say many people. I'm just going to read this briefly. Many people have worked from home over fears of the coronavirus outbreak, sparking discussions about how much office space companies really need, and plenty of people tapped unemployment benefits, stimulus funds, and relief programs to pay the rent on their homes amid huge job losses in our casino-heavy industry. But,
right.
But with the vaccines rolling out, the daily life has started to return to normal. Tourism has climbed, and Las Vegas isn't nearly, the unemployment isn't nearly as high as it was last year after the pandemic hit, and all of which should bode well for the commercial real estate market. And evidently they feel that they believe people will want to return to their offices, and that interest from prospective tenants in the new building has been really strong.
Wow.
So, yeah. And, he went on to say that they opened the Tanager in 2019, and it's nearly fully leased, those luxury apartments, and people are paying their rent. So, there's that having an office building there, luxury offices, I think is a great idea because it seems like people want to go back to the office. I know that there's a lot of people that don't, obviously, but I think it's opened up, some new maybe business plans for the businesses, because if they can reduce their office space, that could be good for that type of business.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like real estate. Our biggest problem used to be having enough office space for all the agents that wanted to work in the office. Right. And over time with technology, they were able to work at home and have more freedom and what have you. Some agents don't like that because they have kids and they aren't focused enough. But so I think that it's just opened up another genre here. And I think it's going to be fine especially with the luxury office space.
Yeah, maybe the high end. But yeah, the lower end office space is probably going to struggle for a while. Yeah. Especially when, companies like Howard Hughes are coming out with this, because then the companies don't have to rent a big, office space to fill out all the employees. They can do more a smaller, more boutique like style where they have higher amenities, and the office actually services their needs a little bit better. So no, it'll be interesting to see.
It will.
With the whole world landscape trying to change right now.
It really is. It really is. And our landscape is changing as well here in Vegas, as you know, with all the things that were going on. Another thing I just wanted to point out to everybody and all my real estate agents that are watching, it's good to read the paper or subscribe to the Review Journal online. I talked about this yesterday in my Buffini class, because you have things that you can talk about and give people information.
Right.
And like today, when I saw that the Summerlin Parade is coming back for the 4th of July. And that's terrific, because that's really a fun parade. I mean, and this was 2 years ago, but look at the big balloon hat, and, it's just, it's really cool.
Yeah.
So
I went to the Las Vegas Lights game, the soccer, the pro soccer league game last night at Cashman Field. Yeah. So, and it was a good time. People are out and about. They're wanting to do stuff, and people aren't really scared, which is nice, right? I thought everybody coming back from this pandemic, and everybody was just going to be so leery of just other people. But I think that it's in our human nature to want connection and to be around other people and be part of a herd. And so and it's it's one of the most healing properties, natural healing properties, is actually to be around, people who love you and care about you. And so, this town is coming back, because it was the stadium, probably, I would call it, about half full. But it was I think even if it was prior to COVID, it would probably be half full anyways, because it's not like a huge popular sport here in Las Vegas quite
like
yet,
the Golden Knights.
Right, Golden Knights going to the division finals right now. So
that's and they're going to Montreal on Tuesday, and they're going to have a real change there, because they're not allowing that many people to come in and participate and watch the game. So it'll be a very low-keyed game versus what they're used to here. I mean, it's one of the roof stays on T-Mobile.
And I think that's an advantage to the Golden Knights, because usually the home team that offers the crowd, that energy, rooting against, or rooting for your team and against the opposing team is, a component that adds maybe a little bit of advantage to the home team. For Montreal not to do that, and then they got to travel back to Vegas, and they're going to be in a stadium that's full capacity with the bling that happens in Vegas here. I mean, they might see a different distraction. It might be a detriment to them. So so we'll see how it goes. But
and I'm really anxious for the first Raiders game.
Yes, apparently all the season ticket holders got to see their seats over the past couple months here, because I've seen a lot of Facebook posts of people looking at their seats and going into the stadium and stuff like that. So it should be exciting. I think they're going to start having concerts there in July, right? They haven't had anything yet, have they? I don't think so. Not at the stadium. So PBR is back, right? MGM at the MGM Stadium, or the convention center at MGM this week. The Concrete show happened. So, things are coming back, and, the Strip is booked right now on the weekends, especially. So,
that's so wonderful. That's really wonderful. So one of the things, I've been threading here is the luxury market, both in the commercial and in the apartment community, but also in the rental communities and in the luxury homes. And I have some pictures here, and I think the Review Journal also ran some of this too. Let's see if I can get it up here. Where'd it go? Let's see. I'm going to show you this, show everybody this. So we're going to go off screen for a minute. But here's one of the things that people love. They love these virtual tours that like I was talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. And let's see if I can. So can you see the screen move?
Yeah, I can see the screen move.
Okay, this is what people absolutely love to do. They
Oh,
love to look
absolutely.
at the
Yeah.
luxury homes. And, I just can't impress to agents enough to do this, because on our website, these virtual homes get the most views.
Absolutely.
I mean, people can actually walk through the home, and a lot of the expensive luxury homes, were the first people to do this. And now, like I was saying earlier, even rentals are doing this. Because people from out of state, they say, they'll call and they'll say, you have we had a couple virtual tours ourselves on rental homes. And we rented them without the people actually coming to be in them.
Mm-hmm.
They said they sent in deposits and what have you. So these are just wonderful things for agents to do. And then if they don't do that, there is something that the board does here. What happened to my mouse? Tell me if you can see this one. Can you see this one?
No, you haven't.
Okay,
So
let me go
on
back
the same
here.
screen.
Yeah, let me go back here. Gotta hide that one, I guess. And then find the other one. Here it is. Yeah, I'm learning all these new things I can do. I love it.
Okay, perfect. Yep.
Okay, so let's look at this one. Can you see it?
Yes, this one you
Okay.
see.
So one of the things, these are just photos that move in and out. And one of the things that, I encourage people to do is audio. Talk about what they're seeing. If you're
Correct.
not doing the
Not
video,
just right. Exactly.
you can still add audio to these, and then you can really hype up the house, the features of the home. This is a $12 million home, 19,000 square feet, 9 bedrooms, and you're not really looking at the verbiage on top, because you're looking at the pictures.
Correct.
So you really need to add
audio.
Yeah.
Correct.
And just showing people that. Go back.
I would up the game here, and if you really want to be a professional, stand out, and not on top of audio, but I would do a video of you walking through put all your pictures that you want to lay out, right?
Yes.
But then do a walkthrough and use that audio as you're walking through the house as the audio that overlays over that, and then splice it in with you walking through the house and then the picture, right? So it's like,
yes,
you're not always on camera, you're spliced to what they call B-roll pictures of that same property with different angles. And so, it's, that's the type of leveling up that this this profession needs, right? And for the people, especially who want to sell luxury homes, people want to see that effort, right?
Yeah.
If everybody's just showing pictures, silent pictures, or the toony, MIDI sounds in the background, and then they see someone that is walking through the home, adding their audio, demonstrating their professionalism on the screen and connecting with, the viewer a lot more. Who are they going to choose? It's pretty obvious.
So what Kane and I did, and we encourage other people to do, is when we had the rental, it was a $5,000 a month rental, and we did the Matterport. We put the Matterport on the video on the computer, on the screen, and then we took a video of it. We videoed walking through the house and talking to overlay the audio onto the virtual tour.
Nice.
And it was rented within a week, and to people from Beverly Hills that had never seen the home, but they felt like they knew the home. They just couldn't have been happier. So, just have to put it all together. And I think you're going to see more and more of these virtual tours on all prices of homes, because that's what people want to see.
Right.
And they want to hear about the home, and
you want to get good right now when the market's hot, so you can practice on it, right?
Exactly.
It's not a requirement right now, but I can tell you, when the market starts slowing down and we got more listings and buyers, guess what homes are going to sell more, right? Exactly. The one that gets more attention.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. Max, I'm ready to wrap it up for the day. I just want to talk about, for 1 minute, show everybody that we have some classes this week. Okay. I'm gonna hide you. Let's see. I don't think it's gonna do what I want it to do. No. Well, that's better. So we're having cybersecurity class on Wednesday, and that's in ethics. that's 3 CE credits for ethics. And then on Thursday, we're having another ethics class about procuring cause, show me the money. This is really good, especially for this market that we're in. And Jimmy Dague always makes it relevant to today's market. And in the cybersecurity class, Jack always makes that relevant to things that are going on too in the cyber world. So hope to see everybody. Go to bee.vegas, and this is what the calendar looks like. And then you just click on the day that you want and sign up, and it's that easy. So that's my world.
I want to leave everybody with something that like, to kind of help motivate, because I see some articles coming in that say buyers are pulling back a little bit here because of the pricing wars and stuff like that. But as a real estate agent, I can tell you right now, one of the things that will help motivate buyers, especially buyers with cash and down payments available right now, inflation is here to stay probably for another 2-3 years here. We're talking about, the published inflation rate's at 4% right now, 4.16%, according to the federal government. But real inflation is really more like 10-15%, right? Because gas prices have gone up 30% over the last 12 months, and food prices have gone up probably 5-10%. And so if you're holding on to a bunch of cash right now, that means that every year you're going to be losing out on between 5 and 10% of buying power, right? And that should be a motivator right now for you to get rid of. Even if you talk to your buyers, even if we have to offer a little bit over asking price, right? Or a little bit over what you wanted to spend right now, it's still better than keeping that money in cash right now, because you're going to, be owning a real asset that continues to historically pace with inflation, if not better, right? Real estate's been able to do that for the last 30, 40, 50 years now. So, just educate them about that, right? And help motivate them and keep pushing that messaging, because it's going to benefit them later. Because right now, I don't know if everybody knows, but interest rates are going down again right now. So there's no better time to continue to push it and go out and get a home, because your money is going to be worthless if you keep it in cash for too long. So the saying right now in a low interest rate environment, in a hyperinflationary time, is cash is trash. And it really is, because you're literally losing. If there's no short-term purpose for money right now, you need to start looking at where you can place that money into an asset or an investment or a capital asset that can pace with inflation right now. And real estate's one of the best places we've seen in the last 30, 40, 50 years. Well,
yeah. And people, we always tell people, you're in it for the long haul. This is not a short-term thing, right?
Right. You're not investing. Right. Your primary home is not an investment.
Right.
You don't need to worry about cash flow. Right. If you're an investor, yes, you got to worry about cash flow. But if you're buying it for your primary home because you love it and something that you're going to stay in the next 5 to 10 years, give it that much time. Every 5 to 10 year cycle, real estate's higher than it was in the last 30, 40 years. So. And it's going to continue to do so, because I have a feeling that the federal government's not going to stop printing money. And that does two things, right? One, it increases inflation because there's a bigger supply of money and demand for goods and services. And two, that liquidity ends up in the hands of investors, right? And that's why we see these hedge funds and private equity firms now, instead of flipping homes, they're buying and holding, right, to create cash flow. Because there's just so much liquidity right now, and they don't care if they get like a 3%, 4% cap rate, which is terrible, historically not a very good return for like an investment property, with hedge fund money, with private equity money. They're usually looking for like 7, 8, 9% cap rates, right, on rentals. They're settling for 3, 4% because they realize that they got to get rid of this money right now.
Right. Yeah, great. Real estate agents need to be able to roll it off their tongue like you do, Max, because cash is trash. Right. That's true. Yeah. And we all like to keep enough money, for 3 or 4 months reserve. We're not talking about that.
Exactly. Short-term purpose, right? You got to keep money aside.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a purpose for it. But if you're a real estate, like I'll give you an example, like a real estate agent, right? Typical real estate agent, typical real estate agent makes like $36,000 a year.
The average.
Let's move up a little bit. Say, for instance, you're a decent real estate agent closing 2 to 3 transactions a month, making $150,000 a year, right? $150,000 a year. You know, at any one point, you could go 6 months and maybe only do 3-4 transactions in a very bad market, right? So you got to take a look at least 6 months of your ongoing expenses, including your marketing. Do not forget your marketing expense, right? And save that and put it to the side, right? Yeah. And but anything above and beyond that, you got to take a look at doing something that creates what they call the velocity of money, meaning how can you utilize this money to get more money back really quickly, or, you know, for the long run over time, right? Yes. So, and you got to, this is a part of like becoming a professional in your business, right? You cannot just be a professional and understand real estate, like your product. That's an entry kind of, that's like going to the front door of the real estate business, right? Yes. Knowing your product and your market. Yes. That's just the entry. Now in a competitive world, right, where guys like Ivan Schur, who are dominating just a luxury market, if you ever want to get up there to that point, you got to understand more things about that buyer, right? That high-end buyer. Their, you know, the way they think about money, the way they, the other aspects of their life, their planning, their taxes. I mean, so many different things. And that's why you got to build a team around you that has all those expertise so that you can offer that knowledge and learn from each other to bring to the table that's going to, you know, just outshine your competition.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you got to be willing to do the work to get to that place. Right. And so,
yeah,
the world's changing.
Yes.
I read a very interesting article. I'll leave one more thought about competition, right? Everybody thinks that Walmart and Amazon and Starbucks came into local areas and eliminated the mom and pop shops, right? That they're the evil corporation that came in. Well, the truth of the matter is that the consumer, right, decided that these companies offered a better product or service than the mom and pop shop. Yeah. Right. Either at a better price or a better product. And the mom and pop shop did not want to compete with that. Right. They didn't want to work at. Right. And the example that this article used was, you know, Starbucks and the local coffee shop. And I remember this. Local coffee shops for the longest time did not carry like soy milk or coconut milk or anything like that, right? It was just traditional, like regular milk, and they did not want to stock it because it added a little bit of price, whatever. Guess what, though? Those consumers that ended up are lactose intolerant, or, you know, everybody's learning more that dairy is not that great for you, and so they wanted to use an alternative, and Starbucks offered that. Yes. And then they offered they offered Wi-Fi. Right. I mean, we laugh at that now. Like every place's Wi-Fi is standard. Right. But for the longest time, you know, these small mom and pop shops, because they weren't running their business, you know, correctly or whatever with the margins, they didn't want to spend the extra $100 a month. Well, guess what? Starbucks did. And they went there, you know. So, I mean, we got to be willing to compete is the message I want to give to real estate agents right now. The landscape is changing. Right now, you got the iBuyer platforms, you got, you know, online marketing, video marketing, and people are upping their game. And if you don't want to up your game to compete with those people, you're unfortunately going to be left behind, and you can't not blame anyone but yourself. Yeah. And I like your message about agents being complacent right now, because, you know, the low-hanging fruit is there. Correct. But it's not always going to be there. No. So enjoy this time, but this is the time that you need to like spend a little bit more time getting to the next level, right? Seeing who's doing the things and, you know, the transactions that you're wanting to get to. Yes. And then you need to get to there. You need to do the same things, right? Maybe not their scale, but the content building that they're utilizing, and the knowledge and the professionalism that they're trying to portray out to the marketplace. You got to be up there for you to compete. So, I mean, there's a book coming out on the 18th of June by Ron Friedman, and I did a little excerpt the other day on it on my show.
and it's about decoding, reverse engineering. And it's really, I would just think every real estate agent needs to listen to it, the Audible. It's not long. I ordered it, but I don't have it yet because it's not going to be released till June 18th. And I bought it for a couple of my friends as well, because it's really, he was interviewed by, who interviewed him? Tom Ferry. Tom Ferry interviewed him. And if you go to YouTube and listen to that interview, you're going to want to read the book, because he is really telling you what you need to do for the future. And it's called Decoding, and really it's about reverse engineering and getting your tactics and strategies together for the future and how to do it. Great book.
Good stuff. So with that, everybody have a great week here. We're almost halfway through the year already, unbelievably.
Unbelievable.
All right. And get educated here on the classes this week with Ruth here. So sign up at bee.vegas to see all the classes coming this week.
You earn more.
Exactly right.
And we're having full house. Everybody's back coming into the classroom. About 20, 30 people in the classroom, 20, 30 people, 30 people at least on Zoom. So
wow, fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend, and we love you all. And
see you next weekend.
Stay cool.